Hey everyone, so for today's video, I wanted to do a really simple, like glowy fall look. My skin, with the changing of seasons has been feeling a little bit dull. I wanted to focus on a really like fresh-faced fall look. And this video is sponsored by Skinstore, so thank you so much to Skinstore. They're having a big fall makeup sale. So what I did is I picked out a bunch of products that I was super interested in trying and created this look to share with you guys. Everything I'm featuring in this video is 25% off. So I will leave like my link and code and everything down below so you guys can get that discount. Honestly, I think I'm trying some new favorite products that I'm going to be using for a while. The Kevyn Glass Glow Face Primer. We have some Daniel Sandler blushes. I'll leave all the products that I used in today's video down below for you guys. And if you do enjoy today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you like me, I would also love for you to subscribe. So make sure to subscribe before you go. Before we dive into a bunch of new makeup that I'm trying out, I wanted to talk about two skincare products that I have used for a very long time and have repurchased. Both of these are 25% off right now. All the products I'm talking about today are, but the Korres Greek Yogurt Foaming Cream Cleanser is one that I have used for a very long time. You can check out some of my really old videos, but please don't because they're a little bit cringy. But you know what? I've used this for so long, I had to give it a shout out because there is nothing like a really gentle but luxurious cleanser. This one will get the job done. It really will cleanse the skin, but without stripping it. It's a very luxurious, creamy cleanser that I just go back to over and over again. And I also had to give a shout out to Bioderma because I use Bioderma all the time. I got this little baby bottle, which I just think is the cutest thing ever. Gentle, but very, very effective. And it's really the only micellar water that I consistently go back to. I feel like once you try this one, it's hard to use another one. Never stripping, but again, very effective. So had to mention those two. But getting into primer. I am so excited for this primer. I have used all this makeup once before, just so I knew what I was getting into. Let me tell you, my first impressions and my excitement were totally right about the Kevyn Glass Glow Face Illuminating Primer. This is kind of like a skincare highlight hybrid sort of product. I believe I tried this in kind of the white shade, and that had a bit of like a blue reflect throughout. And though I have used that color, I only really used it on my cheekbones. And the more I used that on top of the cheekbones, I realized I didn't like that blue reflect. But then I found that there was Solar Quartz, which is the shade I have. And this is more of a light gold. So super excited about this one. So I'm going to take 1, 2 pumps. I can always put the excess on the back of my hand, but I'm going to concentrate this onto the cheekbones and some of the places I really want to beam. But then I'm going to just take the excess onto the rest of the face and just let it work as a primer. I'm noticing again, the second time I'm using this, is that this is just not as thick as I was expecting. I mean, it's certainly thicker than, a serum primer or a gel primer, but I really like it. But look at that glow. I mean, I told you guys earlier in the intro, or at least I should have, my face has just been feeling a little bit more sallow and just not as glowy. I mean, with the changing of seasons, that can happen. So I'm very happy that I have this in my arsenal because look at that. The glow is 100% there. Let's have a little bit of tack to it, so hopefully the foundation goes really beautifully on top. And the foundation that we're trying out is the Wander Beauty Nude Illusion Liquid Foundation. So I picked up the shade Fair, and the reason I wanted to try this one out is that I have seen Wander Beauty ads on my Facebook for so long, and I just never got around to trying out their products. And I mean, all of the demos of them online looked really beautiful. Like this looked like a very nice medium coverage. Didn't look heavy on the skin, which is right up my alley. I'm just applying all over. And if I need to go back with more product, I can do that as I continue to add more product. And I'm just going to use a lightly dampened sponge to blend this in. So right away, guys, this primer and foundation go so well together. Because the foundation is so thin, like this foundation really has such a lightweight texture, It goes so well with something with a little bit more glow and emollients. I mean, do you see this glow that we have going on? My skin has not looked this fresh in a while. The foundation looks really skin-like and thin, but it still has a lot of glowiness. I think sometimes with a really, really glowy foundation, you can kind of see it sitting on the skin just because that product tends to have a little bit more emollients. But to be able to get the thinness of a really skin-like foundation with that glowiness, I mean, that's what makes a good combo. Honestly, like, couldn't be more happy with these two products together. So definitely recommend these. So I'm going to apply a little bit of concealer, do my brows, and then we'll be back for the rest. Okay, I'm just feeling so fresh, very glowy. I honestly can't even tell you how much I needed this. Like I said, I just feel like my skin has needed a little extra glow lately. But let's go into some color products. So what I want to do now is go in with these babies. These are the Daniel Sandler Watercolor Liquid Blushes. I have gotten so many comments asking me my thoughts on these, and I actually did review this formula about a year ago. And back then I wasn't really a fan. I forget what shade I tried, but it had a sort of shimmer throughout that I didn't like on my skin. But then I found out that there were matte shades. So I was like, okay, perfect. I get to retry them and I don't have to try it with the shimmer. So I got two shades. I have the shade Korres, which is a very like pinky nude on someone with my skin tone, as well as Crush, which is a very vibrant orange. Absolutely gorgeous shades. I think what we're going to do is go for a little bit of a draping look. I'm going to apply a bit of Korres and then take just a touch of Crush onto the apples of the cheeks, just to bring a touch more pop there. And I'm just gonna take a little bit onto the back of my hand. You can see they're super liquidy. And then I'll just take my sponge and get to applying onto the cheeks. Alrighty. So just working that in to the cheeks. This is the shade Korres, like I mentioned. So this is the second time, like I said before, that I have tried this shade. It just melts into the skin. This really feels like airbrush makeup because the product is so thin and it effortlessly blends into the rest of your foundation. There's a sort of seamlessness about this product that I loved when I initially tried this, but paired with a very even sort of matte pigment, it looks like skin. And that is the best and the highest compliment that I could give to a liquid or a cream blush. If it looks like skin, then the illusion is there. This color is also really pretty. I was a little bit afraid this color would be a little bit too neutral. I think a lot of you know that I like to go for a big pop of color on my cheeks, hence the very orange blush that we're going to add in. But alone, I feel like this color is just so soft. It has a very pretty elegance to it. So let's add a little bit of Crush onto the apples of the cheeks. Do you see how vibrant that is? I'm just going to add a little bit because this is quite bright. I'm gonna kind of add it in here. This isn't the true apples of the cheeks, I should also say. I mean, obviously you can see if I scrunch up my face, that's not really where the apple sits, but this actually really lifts the face rather than putting it down near the apple. And I think that it gives a really youthful look to the skin. So you can see there. Do you see that pop that that brought together? I really want to get other shades and like play around with these a little bit more, because I feel like if you're into mixing, if you're into draping blushes to get a super dimensional cheek blush look, you will be a really big fan of these. Next, let's go on into the eyes. And I actually wanted to try out another cream blush from Skinstore. So instead of getting just like a matte cream shadow, I wanted to try this Color Veil Gel Blusher from Illamasqua. This is the shade Entice. And just look at that. I immediately thought that this was a really pretty sort of fall color. It reminds me of kind of like a rosy, autumny leaf color. So I wanted to try this out. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put this all over my lids and we'll kind of go from there. This is a jelly formula. I don't know if you can see, has a very squishy sort of formula, but it's actually quite pigmented. From what I can tell, the formula is very even. Now, I haven't tried this out on the lids yet, so hopefully it looks good. I'm just gonna use a little bit that's in the lid, take off some of the excess, and then we'll go on into the crease and see how it looks. Yeah, you can see that this is just such even pigment. The pigment is what I noticed right away. You know, with some putty products, they don't blend as well as you would actually think they would, but I was just kind of blown away by how even this pigment was. Still translating on the lids, so that is awesome. I'm just going to take another brush and just blend that out, so that it just looks like a seamless wash of color. That looks really, really soft and pretty. I'm gonna take a little bit more just out here to kind of intensify the outer corner a little bit, and just a little bit down here. Makes everything look a little bit more seamless. I love how soft that looks. There really is a sort of softness to this formula. I imagine it would blend really well on the cheeks just from what I'm experiencing on the eyes. And in actuality, I feel like it's more difficult to formulate products for the lids just because the lids are so thin. And then blending into the crease. If you wanted to go for a more like monochromatic look, you could just take this, put it on the cheeks, and then put it onto the lids, and you would have like a whole look. And there is the eye look that I created with this. I'm really excited to use these on the cheeks as well because this is such a thin formula. It shears out in a really pretty way, and I do like that initially it has that sort of gel texture, but when you go to blend it out and work with it, it sets down and it goes very thin. So I have a feeling these are gonna wear really well. And again, this is the shade Entice that I used on my lids. Quickly curl my lashes, and then we will jump on into mascara. So now that the lashes are all curled, I'm going in with the Wander Beauty Mile High Club mascara. I also saw this in a lot of ads on Facebook, and I've always been interested in it since because the before and afters are insane. Like the length and difference that you see between the two eyes. You can see the brush is very thin, which I really like because that tends to be what I've been liking lately, a more thin brush. So right away you can see this is very, very lengthening. Zero clumps. I do have one lash though. I don't know if you can see it. It's been growing like all wonky. So now whenever I apply mascara, there's just like one rogue lash. I forget, someone told me to pluck it, but even the thought of that just makes me so terrified. So definitely not going to do that. But back to the mascara. This is super, super lengthening. You can see you don't really get any clumps with this, so that is a good thing. I don't like a clumpy mascara. This strikes me way more as like an everyday lengthening or fluffy, fluttery mascara. Go and apply over here. The length that I'm getting too, because it's not a heavy length. I think sometimes with some lengthening mascaras is the lash tends to look like the same width like throughout the entire lash, and I think that can be a little bit stark looking. This does a really nice job of building volume at the bottom of the lash, and then as you get to the top it looks more natural, which is the goal. I think that's what ends up making the lashes look really pretty. All right, so those are the lashes with the mascara on. I really, really like this mascara. I think it's such a nice, like, everyday sort of look. It's not too much volume, which I think for more of an everyday sort of lash look, I prefer something with less volume and more length. And lastly, we have the lips. So excited about this step. I'm going to be applying the Lipsetter, the dual lipstick and liner from Wander Beauty. Now, my friend here on YouTube, State of Kate, did an entire video like swatching all of these colors out, and I immediately knew that I wanted to try this out because I loved the idea of having a lipstick and a liner all in one. Really off the bat, I think that this is so special. This is such a well thought out lip product. product. It is so comfortable in the hands. You can see it has one end that is a lipstick, and then the other end, of course, that is the liner. But either way you hold the pen or the bullet, it just fits perfectly in the hand. And really, when you are applying lipstick, and if you want to apply lipstick and go back to it, really ease of use is super important. There's just something that feels really comfortable and easy about the way that this bullet is shaped. Let's go on into the lips. This is the shade Flirty and Fiji. I was really into this shade. It's a little bit brighter than a typical fall look, but I really could not help myself. This color is gorgeous. Just going into the liner. I don't know if you can tell, but this liner is a really like beautiful, perfect texture because it's creamy, but it's not really creamy or super buttery, because then you can't really control the line and get something super precise. So this has the perfect texture. And again, because this is so sturdy and easy to work with and feels good in the hand, I feel like it makes for a really good combo. So there are the lips lined, and now I'm going to go in with the lipstick side. Honestly, I don't even want to apply lipstick yet because I don't think I've used a lip liner in a while that I was really that impressed with. But anyway, going into the lipstick. You can see the lipstick portion is a little bit brighter. This color is so fresh. I think I'm just gonna take a little bit more of the lip liner and just deepen this up a touch. And there are the lips. By the way, guys, for this video, I have been using my Invisibobble hair ties. These are also included in the sale, and I had to pick more up because these are just the only hair tie that I will use in my hair. If you have pretty thick hair and you're worried about breakage, but you still want some hold, I consistently go back to these and have used them for a very long time. And this is the completed look. So let's quickly go over all of the products that I tried today and give you a little rundown of what I think. So earlier I talked about a couple of the skincare products that I highly recommend. I really love both of these for the same reason. They're both gentle but effective. I want skincare that is effective and a cleanser that works really well, but it can't strip my skin. And the same thing goes with my micellar waters. So I absolutely love these. And next, I was gonna say maybe this is my favorite combo of the look, but the blushes that I'm using are also incredible. The Kevyn Aucoin Glass Glow Face Primer with the Nude Illusion from Wander Beauty. I love this combo. It just looks so skin-like, but it gives me all of that glowy glassiness that I was looking for. Again, that combo of the really glassy primer with such a thin and skin-like foundation really makes for a perfect match. Absolutely stunning. Really couldn't be happier with the way that the base turned out. Next, moving on into the Daniel Sandler blushes. Really happy that I retried these, and I think that these shades and the matte shades within this line are absolutely gorgeous. This really is to me like liquid airbrush makeup. If you really love working in thin layers, having a blush that looks just incredibly seamless with the rest of your makeup, I absolutely recommend these. If you like working with thinner formulas in general, I just feel like these will work so well for you. I also love that they're not so dewy. I think that they have a really soft finish to them that would make them beautiful for photography. Moving on into the eyes, we used a blush, which is the Illamasqua Color Veil Gel Blusher in Entice. I love how soft this blend was, and I don't know if you can tell on the lids, it's actually quite matte. So I have a feeling that this is going to work really well for those of you that love a cream formula, but you want to work with a finish that's a little bit more on the matte side. On the lids, it works beautifully as a cream shadow. I love applying cream shadow to the lids. I think it gives such a freshness to the lids. Moving into mascara. So I tried the Wander Beauty Mile High Club. If you can see from my lashes, this is, again, super lengthening. If you like that length, and you want something that's a little bit more on the subtle side rather than like the super ba-ba-boom volume side, I think that you will really, really like this. I have worn it once before this video and it wore really nicely too. And lastly, talking about this lip color, I'm very interested in trying other shades of the Wander Beauty Lipsetter now. Honestly, in general, I'm more excited about Wander Beauty items in general because I really liked the two other ones that I had tried, and this lipstick is no exception. I love the idea of having the liner with the lipstick in one, but it doesn't feel like a gimmick. It really feels so well thought out. This liner applies so easily to the lips. The texture is perfect. It's not too stiff, but it's not super buttery and creamy. The lipstick, I think, gives you that perfect pop of color. It dries down a little bit too, which I like, but it doesn't look dry on the lips. I love that there's a bit of creaminess to it, but it still feels thin. Love the way that it feels in the hand. I keep saying that, but I do think that that is really important. So thank you again to Skinstore for sponsoring this video. I am very, very excited about these products that I found. Again, I'll leave all the information about the sale going on down below for you guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this look, and make sure to subscribe as well, and I will see you in my next one.